Everyone, Susan Burbick from Psychics Explained. I'm going to attempt a rewrite of an article that looks like it's in pretty good shape, but it just really has some citation issues and stuff. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm kind of doing this so it's like a before and after. Let's check it out. All right. So this is the Wikipedia article for David Robert Grimes. Now, I have met him at a conference somewhere. It must have been in the UK, possibly. So I don't remember much, but I think that I met him because we were both speaking at the conference. Gosh, I don't even remember where. And usually when I go to conferences, I look them up to see if they need a photo or something added to the article. And for somehow or the other, this is one of many that are on our to-do list for the GSOW, and nobody's touched on it. So I've gone through it a little bit, but my thoughts are that it is it's well, here's the professional biography section. This is from 2019. Maybe this has already been fixed. I'm gonna have to go through this and see if it's been fixed so that we can remove the tag. There's a lot of this which receive media attention. There's a lot of this independent source needed. Somebody's come in here and put tags, which is really freaking annoying. Just fix it yourself. Additional citations needed. If you're going to take all the time to leave these little notes, why don't you just fix them? Non-primary source needed, non-primary source needed. There's some red font, which I can't stand. Either fix them, write the article, or don't put that on, don't put the links on there. I just can't stand the red stuff. It just makes for the reader's experience so distracting. And it's like litter or something, or like I don't like graffiti. I understand people put the red so that they'll say, hey, this should be written. Somebody should write this Wikipedia article. But I don't think that ever does anything. I don't think anybody's doing it. So, just take it off. I really don't remember much about him. So he's got a Maddox Award, which is really awesome. Apparently, he's written one book in 2019. I don't know if he's written more, and we need to update that. I'm not sure we need the see also section, Committee for Skeptical Inquirer, Conspiracy Theory, and Vaccine, because I think they're already mentioned in the article. References, again, we've got some flaws with the editing. It looks kind of icky. There's an awful lot of these that are Grimes, his own work. Look at all this. And these probably all need to be removed. This section has 54 citations, and it probably should be 15, maybe 20. External links. We like to have one. Here's his website, so I don't know if we need all the others. Nice picture. That's nice. There's a photo. I wonder if I have anything else, or I can look and see if there's anything taken at whatever conference that I met him at. So it looks like it just needs somebody to go over it and make sure everything's correct, recite everything, add, let me see, archive links. I don't see any archive links. Here's what's archived. Archive, there's an archive. So I'd like to get everything archived in case these other links break, the link rot. If these are already link rot, it's going to take me a lot longer because I got to find the citation again. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of stuff sourced to him. And I'm going to take those out, which for the most part will probably reduce the size of the article. But that's okay because, we don't have to have everything on here. We certainly don't. And we want to put stuff on that is going to be cited to an independent secondary source, notable, if we can. Anyway, I'm starting to come down with a cold, as you can tell, which is a good reason to stay home and edit Wikipedia. If you look at the edit, oh, this is my sandbox, but you can see this all this yellow. These are all the citations, just masses of citations. And I don't like this at all. I think it's messy. And so I'm going to remove all these edits and put them down in a different place. I'm going to use a different style for editing. It just is a mess. Oh, here's something here. See, these are edits for the editors to read. The source needs its content described before it's reintroduced. Oh my gosh. Maybe way more than I wanted to do today. Hopefully nothing happens today that's going to make me get distracted for the next few years and I clean this up. I'm making this video also because if I do this video, then I have to kind of follow through. I wrote on the talk page. Oops, back to the talk page. Here's the talk page. I made a little note saying I'm going to try to clean it up. If you don't see me in a couple days being done with it, then I'm not going to work on it. Here's the Maddox Prize. And this is prestigious. Well, it has some Wikipedia articles since about science. Kind of coming to mind. I'm starting to remember this a little bit more. I recognize some names on here. Edward Ernst, of course, Fauci, Elizabeth Bilk. I know her. Well, I've spoken at the same conference she was at, but that's not saying much. Oh yeah, I saw that he is a fellow of the same organization I am, Committee for Skeptical Inquirer. Yeah, that's neither here nor there. If anybody has a problem with it, deal with it. It's, cleaned up. This kind of stuff bugs me because it's probably in good shape other than these just being a mess. It looks like somebody just wrote the article and didn't really come back and necessarily follow up on it. So look, I'm gonna check it out, and hopefully there'll be a second video to this, and you can see the changes, if any. Take care, everyone. Hi, everyone. Susan Gerbic here from the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia project. I said, well, you didn't see this part, but I had rewritten a Wikipedia article the other day, and I filmed part of it. You must have already seen it if you're here. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm rambling. I guess I'm a little sick, so yeah, that's my excuse. So I rewrote a Wikipedia page. It just was a few hours, and then I fussed on it for the next couple days, just a little here and there. And I made it live. And then what happens when you make the article live is then other editors from who knows where come in and they make little tweaky fixes to the article to make it better, because my grammar isn't always the greatest and all that kind of stuff. So here I am to show you the end results. Now, you've already watched the beginning of the article, the video that hopefully that talks about what it looked like before we got started. So let me show you where we are right now. Okay. I guess I got to share screen and not just go. Oh, Lord. Susan. Okay, so here's David Robert Grimes. I didn't change the photo at all. So what I did, it's been a few days, and let's take a quick look at it, and you can see that it looks a little cleaner. There was 50-something citations before. I'm at 49 right now. And what I did is I went through all the citations and I cleaned it up because it looked really a mess before when you saw it. So this is what I do when I edit a Wikipedia article is I use this R bar ref style because I think it's neat and clean. So instead of citations, I filled them with these yellow things right here. Now mine are yellow and pink and purple and blue. But the screen you're looking at if you're learning how to edit and you're trying to learn a little bit more about this, might not look like this. It might just be black and white and so on. What you want to do is turn on syntax highlighting. See? So there's this style. or there is this style. Okay, and I think there's an off somewhere, but I have turned this on in my preferences. That's up in the upper right hand corner. There's a preference thing. Anyway, syntax highlighting is what you're looking for. And it just makes it more visual. You can tell if you've messed up, like if you've forgotten one of these little brackets or something, then it's going to be a big old mass thing of yellow because you didn't close the door or whatever you want to call it. So my screen might look a little different than yours, is what I'm trying to say. So all these little things right here are, what do I call it, called. So they all link to further down in this article, citations. Here's the citation. So the one that says breathe is, I could do a control F, but I didn't. So anything that's got breathe up there in the call will come down here and, oh, geez, I must have had a lot more than I thought. Well, it comes down there. Where are you? Anyway, it would say it in one of these little areas right here. Okay. So what happens is it just is neater and easier to see visually. It's not full, your text in the body here in the text is not all just full of citations. The other thing I did, I'm going down here a little further, is I took out the external links that were here, which were to homeopathy. No, see also. There was a section called see also. It's like vaccines, Center for Inquiry, homeopathy, something like that. I took that all out because there's no reason to have those in there. See also is like if you're writing an article about a human being that did something or was something happened to them, and there's this other Wikipedia article that is a similar subject, it's a similar type of thing, then you might put see also and put their name in it. In other words, this is similar. Sorry, I can't laugh or anything like that because then I start to cough. So you can do that kind of thing only if you don't really mention it in the article. So there was no reason to put it as see also. So I got rid of that whole section, just took it out. And then I put, these were all here. I didn't do anything with this. And then I went down here. There was a whole bunch of like his, not awards, but articles that he had written. And I don't want those articles in the body of the article. I mean, because we're supposed to be using secondary sources, not primary sources. So I threw away a few of them that were in the article because they weren't that important. And the others, I used this code right here. I put a little asterisk, and then I used this code down here. And then I'll show you how that looks in a minute. The books, I think was already there. Awards, I think it was all here. So what I did is I didn't clean up the verbiage. I didn't clean this all up because I looked at all the citations. I opened the citations. I put archives. See, here's an archive. Because some of the citations didn't work so well. You couldn't find them. They gave you a 404. Some I had to go find because the 404 had broken them. So other ones I tried to archive. See how I did that? So that if you're looking at a Wikipedia article and you click on a link and it goes to a 404, hopefully there'll also be an archive. So then you could go to the archive and you'll get the Wayback Machine. Something we like to do in GSOW because it's called link rot, where they're all outdated. And that's something that we do in GSOW. We're rewriting the article, but we're not actually changing a lot of the text on the screen. We're cleaning up the background. So I guess it'd be like equivalent to going through a house and cleaning up the plumbing and adding new things to the plumbing and cleaning out garbage and stuff like that so that it's got good bones and it's less likely to lead you astray, and it's just cleaner. You go underneath your house and cleaning it out. That's kind of the equivalent to what I did. So I didn't do much of anything else in here. I went through this stuff. I got rid of a whole area. I think I got rid of a couple of areas. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I took a whole bunch out of here. And then here's the book. I made publications. I think it said something else before. So I made publications, and then I put the book there, and then I put those selected articles. These are 3 articles that I thought were interesting that he had done. And so I just made them selected articles because they had them in the body of the article, and I didn't think that was really all that relevant. This one was string theory, the physics of string bending and other electronic guitar techniques. It shows him playing electric guitar and how he gets different music out of it. Yeah, I'm going to be off traveling in a couple of days, so hopefully get out of the mask. So it just didn't need to be in the body of the article because it's his own writing. And there's more of that in here. And I didn't really want to take it out because I didn't know enough about the science of it to know what I could take out. So if somebody else wants to come in and clean it out further, they can. Because I still think there's way too many citations. 49. As I said, I think it was a 53 or something. Then I had to add this in. First time I've done this, but I've seen other people on my team do this. They use a Scopus list. And Scopus is like when a scientist publishes a scientific paper, then it goes on these lists, and then it tells you how many times that research the person has done has been cited elsewhere. In other words, they'd say, according to David Robert Grimes' work on protons, I'm going to cite his paper in my journal article. So a high H index is of 18. I have no idea if that's big or not. But anyway, so I went and I did this to add it in here because this is what we should be doing. And I hadn't been doing it, so I should probably go back and do that to all the articles that I've written that are science related. Because remember, there was a tag at the top of this thing saying they wanted to see more evidence about his scientific prowess, his scientific ness. Oh. Anytime you put any kind of anything out there that's going to change over time, you need to put when. So if somebody in a year or so wants to go back and look at this again, number 49, that number will have changed. I think it just changes as of October 2026. Lists 58 publications which have been cited 1,406 times, or whatever it is, with an H index of 19 or whatever it is. So it could be constantly updated. That's something people should do. I have another photo I've asked to be uploaded. Picture was taken at, it was SciCon 2023 or 2024. I guess that's where I met him at. I just kind of cleaned out stuff. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? So this needs to be done every so often. I guess it's kind of the equivalent to not plumbing or cleaning out from underneath your house, but also maybe taking out you have a junk drawer in the kitchen, you open it up, you take it all out, and you toss it on the counter, and you clean it all up, and you put everything back in that needs to be in there. The rest of the stuff needs to be put in different places of the house or thrown away or whatever. And I think it's kind of the equivalent of that. So that's going to go on our Stat Badger as one more article that we have completely gone through. And that's about it. I didn't reach out to him. I don't think I have contact with him. I mean, I could and say anything new. Oh, I did look to go see if he had any new books published or anything like that. And I looked at his website because I would think if he has another book out, then it would probably be on his own website. And like I said, I went to Amazon and looked at that. and just went through it, cleaned it up a little bit here and there, and voila, ta-da. So the mysteries are amazing. Oh, and I did write on the opposite, on the talk page, I won't show it to you. On the talk page, I always leave a little note saying, I'm about to do XYZ with this article. I expect to take 2 days, a week, some kind of measure of time I give them. And if you're planning on making some kind of change to this page within that time, can you please leave it here on the talk page? Because what happens is I copy all the code, put it into my sandbox. So if somebody in the meantime comes in and makes a major change to the article, then I might forget to look and see if changes have been made since I last copied it. Because I'm going to take everything out of my sandbox to Control C and just paste it onto the, delete everything that's there and just paste it on. So I won't notice that the change has been made. And if there's a change that's been made, I'm just going to overwrite it. So that's not fair to the editor. So I think that most people, if you're making an edit on a Wikipedia page, check out the talk page just to see if there's any kind of messages like that. And I also put a date of when I should be done. So people aren't just running around in suspense, a year later, they go, wow, this is being rewritten a year ago. I wonder what's going on with that. So I always close. I come back onto the talk page and I say, I'm done. Here's what I would like to see more of. Here's where I had a question. Here's, I decided to remove this, or, whatever. I want to have a conversation with other editors in the future. And then they can kind of see my thinking. And I think that's helpful. In other words, I would say I'm done. Can't even remember if I did it with David, so I better go do it right now. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Take care.